only thing, the boxing people don't know more. The only thing they know is how much the guy runs and trains. But when they come in 2 minutes in the ring, anything can happen. I don't care what, anything can happen.
See, or he's overrated. And I'm not saying he's that. I'm just saying that it didn't matter enough to go and do what he had to do.
Was actually countering Canelo Alvarez quite a bit. So as Canelo would throw, he would just sit there, wait, block, and then boom, an uppercut or a right hand. Another mistake that Canelo was making too is he was throwing like one shot and then he was coming back square.
Tyson didn't hold back after Canelo Alvarez's devastating defeat to Terence Crawford, branding him overrated. Tyson pointed out that Canelo looked completely ordinary once he stepped into the ring with Crawford, who showcased superior skill, control, and precision. In Tyson's view, the fight proved Canelo was never as dominant as many believed, while Crawford's masterclass performance solidified his place among the sport's all-time greats. Tyson further stressed that the loss not only exposed Canelo's weaknesses, but also confirmed that the hype surrounding him had been exaggerated all along.
Ron, you gonna catch him? My man's telling you, but when those guys started beating Chavez was already an old man, though. I gotta get some man, though. You gotta get him back. You know, he had close on. He got him beaten in like 90-0 before he got beat. Oh, you gotta look at those scenarios too, man.
Trainer Teddy Atlas has never shied away from speaking his mind. And when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, his criticism has been sharp. Atlas argues that Canelo's reputation has been inflated by promoters, fans, and media who have crowned him the king of boxing without truly examining the substance of his career. While Canelo does hold notable victories, Atlas believes many of his opponents were carefully handpicked, making his record look stronger than it really is. In his view, the image of Canelo as an unbeatable force is more myth than reality, a product of marketing rather than pure skill. At the core of Atlas's critique is the belief that Alvarez has thrived more on timing and perception than on consistent dominance inside the ring.
Quite as up in arms. We actually sometimes said he fought a smart fight. But when he didn't fight the kind of fight to make it an entertaining fight against our guy, against the popular Canelo, again, the king, so to speak, then we completely attacked the guy. So I think that's got to be looked at a little bit, to be fair.
Tyson had predicted even before the fight that Terence Crawford would outbox Canelo Alvarez. Tyson expressed complete confidence in Crawford's abilities, boldly stating that Bud could beat anyone put in front of him. His belief made it clear that he never considered Canelo to be invincible. Instead, Tyson highlighted Crawford's adaptability, precision, and dominance as the key factors that would give him the decisive edge.
Fight. Great fight. Right?
50-50.
I want to say Crawford. Why am I saying 50-50?
You don't think it's 50-50?
60-40, but you gonna tell him which one?
You think Crawford can stop him?
Crawford can stop anybody. I'm not saying he can't, he's going to, but he can't.
And Teddy Atlas, many other analysts have also explained why Canelo Alvarez is often labeled overrated. Some point to the cloud of performance-enhancing drug accusations that once surrounded his career, controversy that barely dented his reputation. But the deeper criticism comes from his career path after the one-sided loss to Floyd Mayweather. Instead of consistently seeking out the most dangerous opponents at their peak, Canelo became highly selective, choosing fighters who were either past their prime or stylistically suited to him. This approach helped him collect belts, protect his star power, and maintain an image of dominance. Yet, for many skeptics, it revealed a fighter carefully managing risk rather than chasing greatness. In their eyes, Canelo's career was crafted more through strategy and timing than by proving himself against the very best in their prime.
Alright, this guy right here is overrated as fuck, and I'ma tell you why. Now, early on in his career, when he was the young up-and-coming contender, undefeated at the time, we all remember that infamous match with Floyd Mayweather where he just got dog-walked. Floyd Mayweather Floyd Mayweather completely outboxed him, completely outclassed him. That fight ended up being a split decision, which is crazy because if you've seen the fight with your own two eyes, I don't think Canelo landed one clean punch on Mayweather the entire fight, and it wasn't even close. Also, early on in his career, he was accused and caught cheating performance enhancers. And you know what they say, once a dirty fighter, always a dirty fighter. Even though that's not factually the case, because he was able to move on with his career, bounce back from that loss, bounce back from the cheating accusations, and make like a great boxing legacy for himself. In the court of public opinion, normally with most fighters that are, caught cheating at any point in this career, it always sticks with them. But with Canelo, it seems like everybody forgets. Now, obviously, to this day, he's still looked at as one of the faces, if not the face of boxing. But I think the way people accuse Floyd, especially in the back half of his career, of picking and choosing his fights, protecting his own, protecting his legacy, Canelo definitely has followed the Floyd Mayweather model. Not only in his game, he became a more defensive fighter after fighting Mayweather, and especially as of late, he's not taking as much punishment, but it's also because he's not fighting very dangerous fighters, and when he does, he gets exposed. One of his also top more formidable opponents was Triple G, that trilogy. The first fight was a draw. The second two fights, Canelo won by unanimous decision, and an ununanimous decision for the third. But I don't think the results, reflected the fight.
When Canelo Alvarez finally stepped into the ring against Terence Crawford, the flaws that critics had long highlighted were exposed in full view. From the opening bell, Crawford, a southpaw celebrated for his adaptability, took complete control. He shut down Canelo's offense, never allowing him to find range, rhythm, or momentum. Alvarez, usually effective with patient pressure and sharp counterpunching, looked flat,
de este lado.
dimensional.
En resumidas cuentas,
Analysts pointed out that Canelo relied on single shots instead of combinations, and his lack of a consistent jab only made it easier for Crawford to dictate the pace. The contrast in skill was undeniable. Crawford neutralized everything Canelo attempted and left him looking hesitant throughout. For many observers, this performance was the most convincing evidence yet that Canelo's image as an untouchable superstar had been overstated.
I think there was a lot that we could learn from both of them. I think there's something that Terence Crawford did very well. He did not allow Canelo to get inside, man. Like as soon as Canelo would get into that certain range, he would jab him, and then occasionally he would go low. Canelo Alvarez could not pop his. He couldn't get inside because pretty much Bud, he's a southpaw, and I feel like Terence Crawford. I feel like Canelo Alvarez had problems with southpaws, but not just that, but it was the range of what Terence Crawford had, dude. And not just that, man. Terence Crawford was actually countering Canelo Alvarez quite a bit. So as Canelo would throw, he would just sit there, wait, block, and then boom, an uppercut or a right hand. Another mistake that Canelo was making too is he was throwing like one shot and then he was coming back squared, and that's when Terence Crawford would actually catch him. We didn't see any like lateral moves where he would throw and then he'd push off to the side, as we used to see Canelo Alvarez as what he would do in these fights. Allegiant Stadium, there was a lot of people there. Terence Crawford had the ability to fight backwards and stay composed, good defense, hands was always up, countering everything that Canelo was throwing at him. It was just a little more active fight. I mean, looking at the fight, bro, like, it was competitive. Canelo did hit him to the body, but it was pretty much all Terence Crawford, man. I don't know how many rounds I actually gave Canelo, but I want to see a rematch. Because Canelo did mention, I didn't feel good, like my body was just, it wasn't reacting, my mind wanted to, but there was something physically with my body that it just felt different. So, but overall, I mean, boxing tends to put these big events, these fights don't show up.
Canelo Alvarez's defeat to Terence Crawford sent shockwaves through the boxing world and sparked serious questions about his future. His demeanor in the ring, along with his post-fight interviews, reflected uncertainty, leading some to speculate whether retirement could be on his mind. Crawford's systematic dismantling of Canelo made it seem as though Alvarez's era at the top of the sport had finally come to an end. For many, Crawford's victory was instantly labeled historic, not only because of the sheer dominance he displayed, but also because it felt like a symbolic passing of the torch.
Was going to create history. I told you guys this before he fought Sean Porter. I said that Terence Bud Crawford can beat first ballot Hall of Famer and superstar and legend Canelo Alvarez. I've been saying this for years, that Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. And tonight, he did just that. He did just that. Not only did he beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, but he arguably retired Canelo Alvarez, who after the fight, Canelo Alvarez stated that he's done everything that he needed to do in the sport of boxing. When asked do he want a rematch with Terence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez said, "It's no need." He gave no indications of a rematch. And Canelo Alvarez stated that he's a Hall of Famer, he's a winner, just being there made him a winner, right? And he stated that he's done everything he needed to do in the sport of boxing.